Greetings to you this morning. It's a cold and beautiful winter morning, January morning in Michigan. And I wanted to say some words to you regarding the matter of privacy and respecting the privacy of others, especially as you claim to be a Christian. There's a passage in 1 Thessalonians 4 and the 11th verse which says, "Aspire to live quietly, to mind your own affairs, and to do work with your hands as we charged you." Paul goes on to say that this will command the respect of outsiders, people who don't believe in Jesus Christ, and you will be dependent on no one. You will have a sense of independence as you mind your own affairs, you keep to your own work, and you do that which God would have you do. Unfortunately, some of us seem to have an unhealthy interest in pursuing the affairs of other people. And oftentimes this is because we have too much time on our hands. And I wanted to speak about that and talk about four primary reasons why people overly occupy themselves with the interests of other people and feel this strange need to share that information with other people. We call that gossip. Why do scandalmongers exist? Why do they have this, it seems to be insatiable need to pry into the affairs of other people? Well, I think the first reason is simply that they're curious and nosy. They just have this desire to be involved in what is not really any of their business. They're nosy, and that's an interesting word, I think. It's giving this impression of sticking your nose into a room or into a place where it's protruding and has no business being there. Why is it that we, especially we who claim to be Christians, stick our noses into the affairs of other people? Again, the Bible says, you live quietly and mind your own affairs. Stick with your own business. That's a healthier place to be. That's a good place to be. And we have to resist this temptation to stick our nose into other people's family matters, other people's business matters, whatever it might be. It's just nosiness. I would say with that also comes this matter of being self-interested, self-focused. You're more concerned about yourself than in obviously respecting the privacy of other people. I'm all about me. I need to be the one who knows what's going on. I, in fact, like to be the one who talks and tells everybody about the latest gossip. I'm self-interested. I'm self-focused. I call this person the reporter. They're like the news reporter. They're the evening news reporter that tells you the latest thing that's happening. And did you know this? And I think one of the most sinister ways in church circles this is expressed is in the form of a prayer request. Oh, you need to pray for Mrs. Smith over here. Well, why is that? Because she's obviously having problems with her husband and they got into a fight the other night. That's not a request for intercession and prayer. That is a sharing of personal information, even if it's true, which oftentimes it's partially true or not true at all. But again, I like to look good, and I like to be the one with the microphone, and I like to be the one who lets you know what's going on because I've got the inside track. They're nosy and they're self-focused and self-interested. I would add with that a third thing. I think oftentimes we're insecure. These all fade into one another here. I think insecurity is another matter. We're not secure enough in ourselves. We're not secure enough in God. We can't just trust Him day by day to mind our own affairs and to watch over us and to do the work that He's called us to do. That's just not good enough for us. We feel insecure. We need other people's praise. We need other people's affirmation as we think. We think people are going to think more highly of us because we know the latest and are aware of what's going on, all the intimate details of people's lives. Well, people don't really generally look at gossips in a great light. Ironically, we think we're going to be somehow held up high because we, again, know the latest information. But the truth is, what we're really revealing is that we have this deep down insecurity. And we feel this need, this deep need within us to be affirmed and confirmed as being this great knowing person. We're insecure. Fourthly, I think with that is truly something that's hard to understand, and that is that we are, in some sense, malicious. Malicious carries with it this notion of wanting to do harm. When we stick ourselves into other people's personal business, we know that that has a great potential of hurt and harm. In fact, sometimes that's even deliberately why we get involved and why we snoop and why we pry. It's because we have this notion in the back of our mind, this desire to harm that person. Now, of course, we'll deny that. We'll say that's never the case. I love this person, I care about these people, and that's why I'm talking. No, that's why you say you're talking about it, but the truth is, you don't care if you go spreading tales about other people. You don't really care about the repercussions. Do you even stop and think about the repercussions of sharing private personal information? Oftentimes, no, we're so caught up again in ourselves, we're self-interested, we're nosy, we're insecure, and we don't really care how it plays out. But the interesting thing is, so much of the time, we've been told by other people or discouraged in doing this kind of thing, of prying into the lives of other people. But we're not stopped by that. We're not halted by that because we don't care. This is not a good place to be. This is not right. In fact, as we gossip, we sin. Paul says, aspire to live quietly. What a challenge that is, isn't it? To shut your mouth, to keep your lips closed. Just be at your own business. Mind your own affairs. I think of perhaps a woman out in the backyard gardening, and there she is with the hoe digging into the ground and chopping it up and overturning the soil and planting her seeds, and content as the sun beats down. And before you know it, she is productive, right? She has this nice little garden of radishes and turnips and corn and tomatoes. And you see, she's accomplished something. What does the gossip accomplish? Harm, devastation, broken relationships. It's a wasteland, isn't it? Rather than a lovely garden. And so let's take seriously again these words as we think about talking about others and sharing things that we probably have no business sharing. We can talk in terms of general prayer concerns. We don't even have to specify a person's name, though. We can say, I have a concern. I wish you would remember it, without having to go into a lengthy litany of details. Let's be sincere. Let's respect one another. And I'm sure God will be pleased with this. Blessings to you. If you have any comments to make, I would appreciate hearing them. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And again, blessings of the Lord be with you.